Hello, my creative mystic friend. This is Deepa Lou, and I'm the creative mystic. And I'm here today wanting to share with you. It was divinely guided this morning. I woke up and was contemplating, the whole challenge that I'm doing, this Mother Mary painting challenge that I'm doing. But also, I started thinking about problems and challenges and what's the difference. And as I was thinking about that, all of a sudden, these words come floating into my head. Energy flows where attention goes. And all of a sudden I went, oh, I get why we have challenges. It is why we have problems too, but I find if we can switch a problem mindset to a challenge mindset, uh, we have much more success. So let me explain it a little bit to you what I'm talking about. Um, what occurred to me is that right then and there, when those words floated through my mind, if energy flows where attention goes, this is a spiritual truth I was introduced to many years ago when I became a yoga teacher. That it was one of the most important things to really think about when you're teaching yoga is that wherever our attention is where our energy will naturally flow. Even if you're not really wanting it to flow there, that's where it goes. And one of the things about that is, when you have problems in your life, where does your attention go, right? Something comes in. And now, when I'm saying a problem now, I'm saying something that you haven't necessarily want that thing to happen in your life. You're not getting the desired results that you want, right? That's when we feel like something's a problem, right? And what's our usual first reaction? What's yours? I know what mine is, unless I'm really, really consciously aware. It's, like, I don't really want it, resistance. I want it to stop. I'm wishing something would be different. You know, is that you too? I know that's mine. Now, when I'm consciously aware and I can remember, the spiritual truth of, everything is happening for the betterment of my life. It's happening for me, not against me. That Divine Mother, Mother Mary, is not creating these things to make life difficult for me when I remember those things. But when I'm not, when I feel tired or feel like there's too much on my plate and something doesn't work out the way I want, and all of a sudden I'm in problem mindset, like stop, I don't want this. And what will happen is even if I don't outwardly complain, I inwardly complain. It was one of the biggest things that I realized. And so when we have what we call a problem, we're resisting it, right? We're wanting to push it away. Now, I don't know about you. I grew up in a family where there was complaining happening all the time. I find a lot of families grew up in that. I wonder if it's true for you, if you had a complaining family. I had that. And so as I got on the spiritual path, I really started to work on not complaining, right, outwardly. But what I realized was I was still complaining inwardly in my mind. I might not be saying something verbally. I might not even be showing something, in my physical behavior. But in my thoughts, I might be going, wish this wasn't happening, or why, like I do not want to deal with this challenge. Even if I'm just that's what was happening in my mind, because I was looking at what was happening was a problem. I wasn't looking at it as if it was a gift or something I wanted. Okay. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the whole concept of a challenge, because it's a self-imposed challenge, my Mother Mary challenge, to create the 54 names or versions of Mother Mary. And to do that, within 13 months of painting, 14 months of time, because I'm giving my time off, but, this is a self-imposed challenge. I chose it because I want my attention to go into painting these Mother Mary challenges, versions rather, so I can complete it uh, in a more timely manner, I should say. And so this is a self-imposed challenge that I want to do. So how can you actually take a problem you have and turn it into a challenge that you want that will then be with that spiritual truth of energy flows where attention goes. Because the beauty of a self imposed challenge is then your attention goes there, right? Like whatever that challenge is, mine's a painting challenge, but sometimes people have challenges of like a sports challenge, like Ironman, or a challenge to be consistent in your spiritual practice, do something and maybe, get do it with other people. I know when I used to live in California, I lived in Southern California. I belonged or used to go to these spiritual meetings. And one of the things they were doing was trying to support people in having a consistent spiritual practice. And so, um, I had already been on the spiritual path a long time, already doing a consistent practice. And so I went, and then someone said, "Oh, I'd love to have some support." And so I had someone who we had a challenge together to do it every day. I don't remember how long it was there. I think it was like, for 6 months or something like that, because she had never done that. And I would call her in the morning. And I didn't have a problem doing it. I'd call her and say, "Hey, time to get up for your morning meditation." And she thanked me. And then, that challenge helped her to instill a practice. So this is how a challenge can help you, right? A challenge can help you by, your attention goes there because you have this desired result you want, and then energy just flows there because you have this goal in mind, this challenge that you've created for yourself, that you're going to do this particular thing, for whatever period of time you want to do it. So, but how do you shift that problem mindset to the challenge mindset? And what occurred to me was that really was an aha moment when I went, "Oh, this is why we have challenges in our life. It's why everything actually that we see as a problem is really a challenge that divine mother, that God, that spirit, the universe, whatever name you call it, is giving you." Because there is nothing there done to make you suffer. It is there to help you grow and expand spiritually in that particular area of your life. So, like I was having big challenges with Mercury retrograde in this last Mercury retrograde. You name it, I had a challenge with it when it came to something with technology. I had a printer break, a keyboard break, things, glitches in the computer where it was just doing weird things and I didn't know why, you know. And what did I start to get? Frustrated. I started to get so frustrated that I could just it was like bubbling out of me, the frustration. And then I caught myself and I realized, that this is not helping me to be this frustrated. So, how is this helping me? How is this happening for me? Because my little saying that I say all the time to help get me back into conscious awareness is everything is happening for the betterment of my life. And so, when I was getting really frustrated, I said, "Okay, I'm looking at this from a problem mindset." I started to ask the right kinds of questions. And I asked myself, how is this happening for me? What's the lesson I'm supposed to learn? What's Divine Mother trying to catch my attention on of where my energy is supposed to go rather than this frustration and problem energy? And when I started to ask that, I started to realize okay, this is an opportunity for me to learn more patience. This is also an opportunity where maybe more of my energy is supposed to be going to painting rather than computer work, like to shift my energy. Because what I have found in life is when we don't pay attention to certain intuitive guidance, and it may be coming in different ways, life can get a little harder. And not because the divine mother, or spirits trying to make things difficult for you and make you suffer, but they're trying to get you to make a different choice, to put your energy somewhere else, to actually look at, okay, where is the energy flowing in this, rather than my attention of complaining or my attention of frustration, let me shift it. And so that's what I started to realize, if you want to take a problem and shift it into challenge energy of like a self-imposed challenge, a challenge of where you want this in your life, because if you start to really understand, that the spiritual truth of that everything is really happening for you, you start to ask yourself, okay, what's Divine Mother trying to get me to learn here? what am I supposed to, learn from this situation, this experience? Where am I supposed to put my energy? Where is the energy actually flowing? Maybe I'm actually supposed to put it somewhere else. I mean, that happened to me many years ago when I kept, when I was way back in my 20s trying to get a job. I'd gotten laid off, and I thought I just wanted another marketing job because at that time I had a marketing job. And I'd been getting, like people telling me, "Oh, you should go into outside sales. Oh, you should go into outside sales." I kept having people say this over and over and over, and I kept looking for this marketing job because I was too afraid to go into a straight commission sales job. Okay, at that time, it was something that was really fearful for me. I liked having a salary paycheck, not having to like go out and sell things to make money. But things I would go into many interviews, you know, get several interviews, and then what would happen? The I'd be down to the last two people, me and someone else, and boop, the other person would get the job. I started to get frustrated. And then I stopped getting frustrated and said, okay, let me pay attention to what's going on. Where is their energy? And the energy was again around the sales job. What happened next after I stopped being frustrated was a friend of mine that I knew said was a buyer at a company, and she said, I know the sales manager that's looking for new salespeople. And I said, well, I don't have any outside sales experience. I have, marketing experience, telemarketing, marketing, and she said, no, she just, if you have a college degree, she's looking for you. So I thought, what have I got to lose? Let me go to the interview. So I went to the interview, got hired right then. Okay. Started doing the job. And within the first 30 days, I'm like, oh, I love this. I was learning new things and I started to sell and started to realize like, oh, wait, there is no ceiling here. The opportunity is up to me. Like however much I sell is how much I will make. And that's when I, realized like, oh, this is happening for me because at that time, one of my goals was I wanted to buy a house before I was 30. And I lived in the Bay area in California, and it was one of the most expensive housing markets around. And housing was prices were going through the roof, like crazy, up and up and up. Okay, and I was saving money, but with the marketing job I had, I was saving like $50, $100. That's it a month. More times 50 than 100. Okay. And at that rate, I was not going to get the house until I was probably over 40. And that was contingent on the fact that housing prices didn't keep going up. So me getting another marketing job was never going to give me the ability to buy my house before I was 30. And that's where I would, I was like chanting for that house before I was 30. I was like, praying for it. I was focusing my energy, but not really having the resources, the money to put aside for it. Well, when I got laid off, which is what happened, which seemed like a problem, it was such a problem. I cried and was upset. But what happened was I went and got that sales job when I paid attention to where the energy was rather than me getting fixated on this thing that was a problem. Got the job, and within a couple years, I was making like 2 to 3 times the amount of money I was making in the marketing job, was socking money away and put the down payment on my house down by the time I was 28 because I was able to sock money away. So if I hadn't paid attention to where the energy was going, I would never have taken that sales job. Now I had to take a leap of faith because I was scared, but I thought, let me just do it. What have I got to lose? I don't have any other income coming in, so let me do it. So what I want you to do is to start to look at this as, instead of the problem energy, how can you turn it into a challenge that's working for you? Because when you do a self-imposed challenge, it's working for you, right? You've decided to do this, you're going to do it, and you do it like willingly and happily. At least that's how I'm doing my Mother Mary painting challenge. I happily go there and paint Mother Mary. I'm, making it my focus. It gives me such joy, such accomplishment, like feelings of accomplishment. I feel like I'm making progress. These are all the amazing, good, positive, uplifted feelings you get when it's a self imposed challenge. And you can actually start to shift the problem into how can I make this something positive for me by asking those questions I talked about. What am I to learn? You know, that this is happening for me. How is this happening for me? So you can see the benefit, you know, and, look at where the energy is flowing. Okay. So this is how a challenge helps you. Now, I would love it if you have some kind of goal, or especially if you have a heart's desire that you haven't been acting on. Is there a challenge you could do that can help you step into that heart's desire and do it? Because one of my heart's desires is to paint these versions of Mother Mary where you feel blessed. And I, being human like you, I have had programming that would shift me over to the practical, logical, then the heart centered, the truth of what I'm here to do. And so when I did this challenge is based on a heart's desire to help me bring that energy forth and to share these blessings with you. So I would love it if you resonate with this, to share this with somebody, to also, subscribe, and also give me a comment if you have anything about a challenge that might help you, or any comments, things that you'd like to share. I'd love to hear them. Remember, greatness is within you. It's time to let it out. Have a miraculous day. Blessings.